Spirit 105.3. Hello, I'm Erica.
Hi, Erica. I'm Kathy. It's so great to meet you on the phone.
Kathy, I feel the same way about you. I feel like you and I hung out last night. It was such a joy to read through your beautiful new book, Sabbath Soup. So first of all, congratulations.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much for saying that. It really does mean the world to me.
Well, honestly, it is so lovely, and I can tell that you're such a beautiful person, and I love the way that you think, and I felt more peaceful just turning the pages.
Okay, that's the best compliment you could ever give me, truly. Truly.
Oh, I'm so glad. So I was under my fuzzy comforter, just turning the pages and thinking about how desperate I am for more rest in my life. So, Kathy, for somebody who isn't familiar with the concept of Sabbath living, could we start there? How would you describe it?
I would say that Sabbath living is an interruption to our routines. I've raised 4 kids, and the day, and it never ends, right? But
Yep.
God said, you're not designed for 24/7. Let's talk about 6 days a week. Everything I've assigned to you, you can get done in 6 days. So really trying to, I've kind of adopted the idea that Sabbath is kind of a mini holiday. You know how we prepare for having a vacation or Christmas or Thanksgiving? I do that in a much smaller way to prepare for Sabbath so that I'm not cooking on that day. I'm not cleaning on those days. I am preparing so that I can be present and enjoy my people and really remember how God has provided throughout the week and promised to provide for the week coming up.
Oh, that's wonderful. And of course, we know in his word, God says, be still and know that I am God. And it is very hard for us people to be still. We're more human doings than human beings. I find myself, thinking that way a lot. So yes, there is rest where you sit in a cozy chair with your favorite fuzzy socks and you read a book. But one of the things I appreciated about your book, Sabbath Soup, is that you can connect with God while you're cooking and chopping. Would you talk about that?
Well, I think it's that remembrance of provision, right?
Yes.
That as we're cooking and chopping and, hanging out in the kitchen with people we love, to be able to say, God provided all of this. And I can be thankful that when I go to my fridge, I have a choice between carrots and broccoli.
Yes.
That I can prepare food that is delicious, and that God is not saying, well, you don't really deserve that. God's saying, I am with you in this celebration. Somebody just recently reminded me that, God didn't have to create us with a need for food. That is something we get to. I know, right? I wish I would have heard that before I wrote the book.
Yeah.
But to be able to say, hey, I've created you so that you can enjoy these things. The act of cooking reminds me that God cared so deeply for me in that simple detail. What a gift.
Kathy, you're talking straight to the heart of an Italian woman, and I think you have your next book, girl. You've got the whole thing right there.
It's, to take that time to pause, it makes our lives so much richer. And I think it's how God is intended for us to live this life.
Oh, amen. Well, let's talk about the other half of your title, Soup. One of my favorite things you say is that soup is so perfect for lingering over. It's easy to linger over. What does lingering mean to you at the table?
Yeah, so there's so many opportunities. There's the pre-lingering as we're smelling the soup cooking, right?
Yes.
I mean, it gets all of our senses involved. You get to see it, you get to smell it, you get to taste it, you get to, you get to stir it. Like, it's so sensory rich. And then when you get to the actual eating of it, you can't rush soup. Soup refuses to rush. And so we get to be able to linger over as we wait for it to cool down, as we make the salad to go with it, the bread that we're going to have with it. And it forces us to linger. And what I love about a big pot of soup is that everybody gets to ladle it into a bowl. Everybody gets to go back for seconds if they want. there is no rushing soup, and that makes for such a rich time together.
It really does. I so agree. And I feel like it brings back memories of when you were growing up, your grandma or your mom who made soup for you. And then you're giving that gift to your kids as well. It's like generational nostalgia.
Yeah, who has ever refused an old soup recipe? Nobody I have ever met, right?
Yep.
And so we get to pass that down. You're so right. And I'm jealous because, well, you come from a rich Italian heritage. Mine is more German, which we're just not known for our foods. But you know what? I'm going to borrow from your ancestors if you give me permission.
100%. And I love German potato salad. That's one of my favorites.
Yes, true. Yeah, we're good with the vinegars, aren't we? We do that really, really well.
You do. Okay, another thing I really appreciated about your book, and I'm just flipping through it again now, and I just highly recommend this. If you're listening to this right now, this is a way to slow down and connect with God over one of our favorite things in the world. Come on, food. You have prayers for the different seasons when we're in the kitchen, when we're out picking apples. Another thing I love about you, Kathi, you make it simple. Here's how you freeze an apple. You put lemon juice in a bat. Like, you make things very simple. So tell me about these prayers that you included in your book and how we can apply them in our life.
Yeah, Sabbath, without recognizing God and his provision and his design for us and design for community, it loses its meaning. It loses, God cares so deeply for us and for not just our physical being, but for our spiritual being. And so these prayers they're so simple. They're so simple, but they're a reminder of everything that has been given to us. So there's prayers for when you're eating by yourself, because sometimes that's how I'm eating a meal.
Yes.
There's prayers for a fast meal that you just need to, I still want to appreciate this, but I'm on a clock. Those are the kinds of, and God understands that. God is not mad at us for rushing when we have to get out the door, but says, take that one moment to pause and recognize me, and then we're going to get you back on schedule. But for every area of our life, there's a chance to remember him.
It's beautiful. You have a prayer that you pray before cooking. I mean, most of us think, okay, the grace, we pray before we eat. But I think my favorite, praying over a gathering. Kathi, I'm thinking about Thanksgiving is coming, and not any family. Okay, I'll say it this way. There is no perfect family on the planet.
Right.
And I do know that the holiday, as much as we love it, sort of induces stress in some of us. So could we talk about that, praying pre-gathering, what that might sound and feel like?
Yeah, like I said, 4 kids, blended family.
Yep.
Could we invite more chaos into our house? No. And so taking a moment to say, God, I know this is not going to be perfect, but also you set me down in a non-perfect world. I pray that there would be points of connection. I pray that there will be conversations that are rich and carry us through to the next gathering. All of these things, God understands. He understands our imperfect families and our imperfect lives, and he loves us, and he cares for the people that we care for. And so that's what I'm praying for when I'm praying for before the gathering.
I knew you were going to be wonderful. So I feel like years ago, I saw something you posted. It was a gratitude exercise about looking around you and finding things to be grateful for. And I would love for you to talk about that.
Yeah, oh my goodness, you are going back into the archives, my friend. I love this. So it's, one of the topics I talk on very frequently is clutter. And I think sometimes my life tended to get cluttered because I wasn't appreciating what I already had. And sometimes not even, let's be honest, remembering what I had.
Yes.
So when I look around the room and I say, you know what? And I know this is not everybody's circumstance. I get that. But I have everything I need. Yep. And sometimes I have more than what I need. And so let me be appreciative. And also let me give away the things that maybe I don't need or I'm no longer, it came into my life at one point and I loved it, but I've outgrown it or my priorities have changed. But you know what? That's going to be the answer to prayer for somebody else. So let me go in with that eye of gratitude and know I have all of my needs met, and God has given me a little bit of abundance to meet somebody else's need. That, talking about going into Thanksgiving, that's the attitude I want to go in with.
I think that's wonderful. As you look back over 2024, what is something you're especially grateful for?
Okay, this is going to sound weird, but I'm just going to get weird on you for a second. We have a dog, and that dog we acquired during COVID, and we're going to lose her next year. She has. I know. I'm sorry. I don't mean to bring the room down, but can I tell you how grateful I am that we've had the time with her, that we've been able to be the family that she needed, and she was the dog that we needed. And I'm already pre-mourning a little bit,
Sure.
But also that reminds me, somebody told me that grief is just love extended. And that's what we're going into. So it's a downer of an answer, but also that's what I'm most grateful for. I really am.
Well, you're going to just treasure up every single millisecond you have
100%.
left with her. What's her name?
Her name is Moose. She's only 11 pounds, but she's got all the attitude of a Great Dane.
Please give Moose a hug for me. And Kathi Lipp, author of the beautiful book, please get yourself a copy, and one for somebody you love, Sabbath Soup. Will you come back and talk clutter? We have to talk again.
Yes, please. Say less. Yes.
Okay, God bless you, and happiest of Thanksgiving seasons to you. You are a treasure.
Erica, back at you. Thank you so much. What a great conversation.
Oh, thank you for being here.